OK, we're just going to bring you some breaking news. We'll start off with events in Scotland. There have been 740 new cases of Covid-19 reported in the last 24 hours. Now, this compares with 558 the previous day and is 11.5% of newly tested individuals. Nicola Sturgeon has said that this is the biggest daily tally of cases, but that said, far more people are now actually being tested. The First Minister has warned that cases are now rising across Scotland, and there is absolutely no room for complacency. And a little bit more breaking news, again in Scotland. Glasgow University has said that it will refund all students in halls of residence 1 month's rent, along with a £50 payment for food. Now, at Glasgow University, 124 cases of the virus were reported on Thursday, with the number expected to rise. So that was a picture there of events across Glasgow University. Let's talk now to a student, Nathaniel Ashley, who's at the University of Edinburgh. Thank you for speaking to us here at BBC News. So just picking up on that news that Glasgow will be giving a goodwill payment towards food and also reimbursement of rent, is something you're likely to see at Edinburgh?
I don't know about first-year students or anything. I'm a fourth-year student and I'm in private accommodation, so I'd be incredibly surprised if we were to get anything like that. It seems like the uni's a bit confused by the whole thing and not quite sure what to do about it.
Do you think you should get some sort of reimbursement?
I mean, I certainly wouldn't complain, but it's obviously I don't know what kind of financial situation either the students or the uni are in.
Okay, so
it is just sort of a very confusing time for all of us, I think.
confusing time for everybody. Can you just tell us the state of affairs at Edinburgh University? What sort of lockdown or measures have been put in place?
So on Friday, they announced that all students would be banned from pubs, restaurants, cafes, all that stuff, and that we effectively wouldn't be allowed to go out and socialise, even in a socially distanced way. So it kind of seems as though we're in a lockdown, but they don't want to call it a lockdown. And we're told that it's meant to only last this weekend, but again, there was a bit of confusion around that, and we only found out when Nicola Sturgeon tweeted it after the announcement.
There's a lot of talk about social life around the subject of lockdowns and universities. What's upsetting more? How are students feeling that they can't go out and socialise? Obviously, for many, it's an exciting time in their lives, or that they don't know what's going on?
Honestly, I think we're a bit upset about both. I think partially, we understand that obviously students have a reputation for going out clubbing a lot, but I think it's not it being able to do the same things that everyone else is allowed to do. So everyone else can go get a coffee with a friend as long as they remain socially distanced, or they can meet on the meadows, for instance. Whereas we're not allowed to do that, even if we act as sensibly as we possibly can. So that feels like we're being targeted in a particular way that is not pleasant. But yeah, it's also the suddenness of it. We had no idea that something like this was coming, and we've had very little information about how long it's going to last, how they're going to enforce it. So I think for most people, our first reaction when we heard it was just a number of questions popped up about how the hell it was going to work.
Okay, well, one of the questions I've got is, obviously you said at the top there that you're in private accommodation, so I assume you're off campus. How, in terms of the difference of the impact on your life, I presume that's not affecting you being able to go out to go shopping. What are you hearing from friends on campus? I mean, do they have measures, roadblocks, leaving, to keep people in or out?
So there's nothing on campus. They've closed all the student bars and everything, which is a fairly obvious course of action. But it's hard to say, because obviously most of my friends are in third and fourth year, and so we are in private accommodation. I don't really know what's going on in the halls. I've heard that they're going to be trying to enforce it there and making sure that no one leaves at all. But it's all a lot of confusion, and I think there's meant to be a yellow and red card system where supposedly, I assume, for if you commit one offence against it, then they warn you, and if you commit two, then they're sort of saying that you're at risk of expulsion, which seems...
Yeah, what do you make of that, this potential discontinuation of study? How have students responded to that?
I think it's just, again, sort of sheer confusion, like the idea that they could do that so suddenly for something that we really don't have any idea of how to obey the guidelines as they exist. Like, we're not sure if, yeah, as you say, if we don't live on campus, if we are allowed to go out and sort of go shopping. And so to have so little clarification around that and yet have it be so important to us, and if we do get caught doing it, then yeah, to have 4 years of work cut short would be devastating, to be honest.
Okay, well, Nathaniel, Ashley, good luck to your final year of university, and thank you very much for speaking to us, and of course, do stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you.